find ourselves in a society where men are being told how to be men by women. Like women are telling men how to be men.
Why are women fighting for equality instead of fighting from being here? Because for me, someone is fighting for equality when she feels that I'm lower than this person. Now I want to be equal to this person. It's not like I'm making you feel that you are like that, but it because you think that you are like that and you act that you are lower than I am.
It's an identity crisis. Women are struggling to understand who they really are.
How do you fix it?
The identity crisis?
Yes. How do you fix it? Hello, beautiful people. I hope you're good. It's your boy 𝐂𝐐. Welcome to another episode of Salt.podcast. And then we are still working with the same concept called a woman perspective. So today we have a young lady. So yeah, the podcast is different because, we have been dealing with people who are into business and, but now we have a young lady. So we have a perspective of a young lady. So the person that we have today, we have 𝐸𝐹𝐇𝐈𝐒 Bombo.
Yes.
How are you doing, my sister?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Even though it was not easy. But
thank you for having me.
Thank you so much. So can you please introduce yourself to my viewers or to the people who are watching us?
Not a problem. Hi, everybody. To all the people that Jesus Christ loves, I am 𝐸𝐹𝐇𝐈𝐒 Bombo. I am a podcaster as well. I have a podcast called The Pursuit. I'm into a lot of things. I'm into a lot of interesting things. I like creative things. I love hosting. I love customer service. I love hotel management. I love art. I love painting, drawing, all those things. I love Jesus. I love a lot of things.
Yeah,
so
I
yes,
get
that's
you.
me.
I get you. So today podcast, normally I don't have questions. But today, all my questions are written down.
Not a problem.
So I have to read the questions.
Not a problem
and then
at all.
I think you will be able to answer. So the first question, can you share with us a pivotal moment in your life that shaped your perspective on empowerment as a woman or as a young lady? Let me make it like that.
Okay. I don't have an exact pivotal moment, but if I can think back to it, is when there was such a loud noise, when there was so much noise around feminism.
Okay.
I didn't really understand why, so I had to look into why there's so much noise around feminism, why there's such an uproar around feminism. And that's where I started understanding that, women want to be empowered. So I looked into it and I understood, I tried to understand a bit of things. But not all of, I didn't understand everything. So some things I'm just like, okay, I see.
You said the question that you asked yourself, it was, women want to be empowered.
Yes.
What does empowerment mean?
Empowerment, I think empowerment is the recognition of an individual's ability to do something.
Okay.
So they have the power to do something. They have the ability. There's a space created for them to do a particular thing. So yes, I think that's my brief.
So what do you do to empower yourself?
What do I do to empower myself? So I like to hype myself up. I like to make myself feel like I can do anything. I really like to tell myself that I can do anything. There is nothing that
you cannot do.
Yes, but I try to, that's what I use as motivation to make myself feel like, yeah, I can do this. And I try to put myself in spaces as well with people who can back me up with that, people that make me feel that I can do anything as well. I can do whatever I put my mind to. So that's how I empower myself.
So do you think it's also easy for let's talk about woman mindset, because you empower yourself because you have understood that. So can you give us the definition of the word empowerment first of all? Because for people to be able to empower themselves, they need to know what does empowerment means.
Okay.
So can you explain to us what the word empowerment means to you?
To me, like I had mentioned, it's the space created to be able to do anything. The space created to be able to express one's abilities, one's strengths, one's power in different environments, different spaces. The space where there's a voice, where I have a voice to voice out thoughts, feelings, all those things. And like with me, with relating to how I empower myself is I create that space. I create that space where I make myself feel like I can do anything. I surround myself with people who make me feel like I can do anything. So people who encourage me, I encourage myself as much as I can. Sometimes it's easier.
Sometimes
sometimes it's not that easy. But yes. So it's myself and the people around me as well. And also a lot of, just a disclaimer, a lot of my principles, a lot of the things that I base my life around are biblical principles. So there's also just that which is at the top of everything. Yeah.
I get you. So my next question will be, as someone with actually diverse interests, how do you think embracing a range of passions contributes to your woman's empowerment? Because I know that when you introduce yourself, I know people are going to judge you. When you introduce yourself, you just give a lot of heart to your personality.
Yes.
So may I please understand how does all your heart contribute to your empowerment?
To answer that question, I feel like because of my diverse interest in multiple things, in a way that it can empower women is you can't limit yourself. Don't limit yourself. If you're able to do more than one thing, if you're able to find interest in multiple things, go ahead. If your strength can allow you to be this, to be in this area, to be in that area, go for it. Like there shouldn't be anything that should restrict you or limit you to be able to explore all aspects of your character, all aspects of your personality, all aspects of your strengths and your weaknesses. Like you should have the ability or the space to experience all your things.
So also being in a personal question, so how did you find out that you had the ability of doing so many things?
I think a lot. I really, really think a lot.
You are a deep thinker.
I am a very, very deep thinker. And I always come up with new ideas all the time. And I'm always trying to find ways of how to just do other things, to do new things. Also, I really like things. Like I like adventurous things. I like to understand things. I like beautiful things. I like nice things. I like to explore. So I try to always look into certain spaces, certain things and be like, oh, I see how I can be interested in that. I see what I can do there. I see how I can use that concept in my own life or around me, in the spaces around me. So yeah, that's just...
So let's say I'm a woman, let's say, because it's a woman perspective, but I'm a man. So let's say I was a woman and then I'm struggled to put myself in so many stuff, but I'm also that deep thinker. Like I have so much ideas, but I don't know where to start and how to start. So based on your personal experience, how would you help me to sort out myself?
So I think a lot of the times one thing that we avoid as people, not even just as women, but as people in general, is sitting down with ourselves and having honest conversations. You know, and that's something that I learned a bit later on in my life, like the importance of having honest conversations with yourself. And I had to sit down and be like, okay, Neftali, you are able to do this, you're able to do this, or you are interested in this, or you like this, you like this, you like that. But where would you be the most comfortable, or where would it be the easiest for you to kind of evolve or to start? Because with somebody like me who thinks a lot and who has, like, my brain is just always. But I think very recently, I mean like 2 months ago, that's very recently, I felt very overwhelmed because I had all these thoughts in my mind and I was just like, they're everywhere. And because I'm trying to do everything at the same time, I'm getting tired. So I had to collect my thoughts and be like, okay, Neftali, let's rank this according to the most important. So what is it that to you is the most important? So if you can understand that, if like out of 5 things, not all 5 will be on the same level. So because there's 5, there's one thing that will be first.
Okay.
So I'm like, okay, what do I enjoy the most? That's first. So I look into that. You look into that, you study it, you understand it. And I think for me, what really does help me is the people that I have around me. It's very important to have people.
What kind of people do you have around you?
My family, I have friends, my sisters, the people that I look up to. I also have just the fact that I have the Bible as a reference for everything. It just makes everything else in my life easier because the people that I'm surrounded by also understand the biblical principles that I relate my life to. So it's like they are able to help me as much as they can. And I also have worked towards putting myself in spaces where I can confide in people.
Okay.
You know, with somebody that's an overthinker, you cannot just sit in your own thoughts. You will go crazy.
So if I understand, the answer that I can get out of my question is gonna be, I need to take time for myself.
Yes.
So what if I've taken time, like a lot of time, I think, I overthink, but I still can't do, because I know that you have given a good advice, like of doing a analysis of knowing what is the most important, what I enjoy the most. And then I think this is something that people dismiss right now or dishonor, like in a point of doing. So I'm more, like I can know that, okay, this is what I enjoy the most, but maybe it requires money to do it, and I don't have the money. So how do I do?
I think for me, what I've started to do is, because right now I found myself in a similar situation where the thing that is the most important or that I want to do the most requires money. And I don't have I'm unable to fund that thing right now. So in the meantime, what I do is I educate myself more about that particular thing. So educate yourself more onto that particular thing, and whatever it is that requires, whatever is the most cost efficient thing, then that's what you can do. You can do, not neglecting the number one priority or whatever. But if that one needs money, then find ways, look for ways, or study that particular thing, study the things around it. Like, okay, for instance, if I want to start a clothing brand, all right, I want to start a clothing brand. You look into that whole industry, target audience, all these things, how much this costs, how much that costs, and you find... So you understand, so that when the money comes, you're not you know what you're doing. You will know what you're doing. So you just generate funds where they need to go, and then you move on to the next thing. Because you know what's stopping you from doing that number one, then you do number two, and that's where I'm at right now, doing my number two. Yes.
What are some key issues or barriers that women still face today in achieving equality and empowerment?
Okay.
I know that all my questions are linked, are related.
Yes.
So, it's a sort of a continuity of stuff.
Okay.
So I would like to have your perspective based on this one.
Okay.
Because it's something that which is really key. Because I know that you have your own barrier or your own key issues that you still face still today to empower yourself. Yeah. But I want you to speak in a general point of view.
Okay.
But also based on your personal experience.
Not a problem. For starters, everything that I say, like I mentioned in the beginning, my principles are based on the Bible. And with regards to that whole thing of women empowerment, I think that's the problem. I feel like the problem comes where women are seeking equality, because the equality that they're seeking is an all-round equality. They want they want to be the same as the opposite gender. They want to be the same as the man. And for me, that's just, I just don't see how that would ever really help women. Yes, of course, there are levels to it. Certain things allow for men and women to be equal, but if you're trying to be at the same level as a man in all aspects, you will always struggle, because that's not how it's supposed to be. The way I was raised, and based on my beliefs and my
conviction.
Yes, my convictions, I know the role of a man in society. I understand the role of a man. I understand what a man needs to do, and I understand what a woman needs to do. Yes. So it will never be a thing where I'm trying to fight with a man to be where he is. No. Like, for me, that does not make sense. Like, why are we fighting? If I understand your role as a man, you understand my role as a woman, it's not going to be something that we are fighting over, and it will never be a thing where women feel like, I need to do more. Like, if you understand, then you'll be content.
How did you describe the word feminism? Because I want first of all to go with the definition
of feminism.
Of that word. Okay. Then we can discuss further. Okay.
I think feminism is when a woman that fights for the rights of a woman. Yes, to get women to be in certain spaces in life. Like, woman must be at the top. It's like, the woman empowerment thing. I think it's...
Because me, I'm more thinking now of, I don't know if the word is English, because me, I speak French.
Okay, no problem.
And then in French, we talk about marginalization. I don't know if in English is marginalization. Yeah. Today, men are losing the position.
Yes.
When I'm talking about losing the position, it's like we can go and apply for a job. When we applied, if you get rejected and then I got accepted, you will say that those people are feminist, or they are just discriminating you. That you won't take it like that. But if they say like now they are more open to take women because of that victimization instead of taking me as a man.
Yes.
So what do you think of that?
See, things like this, those are the things that really, they I don't want to say upsets me, but they cause a lot of frustration, because it's like, what do you want? Or what do you actually want? Funny enough, yesterday I was having a conversation with my sister and like my brother, and we're in the car and we're talking about how we find ourselves in a society where men are being told how to be men by women. Like, women are telling men how to be men. And that's not how it's supposed to happen. So it's like we find ourselves in a society where the character of a man is being defined by a woman. A woman cannot tell a man how to be a man. The same way a man cannot tell a woman how to be a woman, because a man is not a woman and a woman is not a man. So you can't tell me how to be me. I can't tell you how to be you. But in spaces where feminism is going to the extreme levels, where women are just like, they're victimizing themselves to get into certain positions because they feel like they're being deprived. I'm like, no, it's not a thing. It's really not a thing. I think the fact that they're using their femininity, the fact that they're using their femininity as a weapon to get into certain spaces, I just think that's very wrong. I really just think it's wrong.
I also think, because you talk about that, but I think that women knowing that they are women, now you are diving into identity.
Of course.
So don't you think it's a problem of identity first of all? It's because I call it the victimhood. It's starting from the inside, not really knowing who you are and what you want. And then now you are playing the blaming game of accusing other people from what is happening in your life.
Yeah,
don't you think it can be related to that?
I think it can. That women are victimizing themselves. Because if you understand your role, if you understand that you are a woman, you understand that is your identity, that is who you are, you won't have to fight for it. You won't have to fight for it in any sort of way. But if you find yourself in a space where you're fighting to like prove a point, you're fighting, that means that there's already uncertainty. That means that there's uncertainty, because if you are content, if you know that, all right, cool, I'm a woman, if I'm going into the workplace to apply for this particular job that does not even have anything to do with my gender, I'm just applying for the job. Me getting the job should have nothing to do with the fact that I'm a woman. It should have everything to do with the skills that I have, the qualifications that I have, all those things. It shouldn't be.
But also, I think because women right now are not accepting rejection. Because if women feel rejected, now I'm a victim. What do you think? Because that's what is happening. Because if I apply for a job, let's say like I go and apply for a job and then I just got rejected. It's normal because I'm a man, so they rejected me. But if it's a woman, that's the women are not getting the job and I'm getting that job, the woman doesn't even think that maybe I have the quality, maybe I have the skills required that she doesn't.
Yes.
But she just going off the victimization already.
That's already on its own a very toxic mindset to have. And the fact, because I know that there are women out there in the world who do think like that, or do see things like that, or do just constantly try to manipulate the situation and stuff. But I think that's just a toxic mindset. But obviously toxic mindsets and stuff are shaped by society, the way that society portrays women or portrays men and stuff like that. So those things have effects. They do affect the way, they do affect that entitlement that a woman feels when she's going to the workplace and she's like, yeah, I should get the job. You know, it's entitlement, but where does that entitlement come from? Society. Like we as a society, we are at fault for all these little things that we see happening. Like even feminism, it's because of society. Gender, whatever, it's because of society. Identity crisis, gender identity crisis or whatever, it's because of society. Like we are at fault. We are really at fault. So for me, I think we need to do better as a society, but where we are right now as a society, we have failed.
Red flag.
We have failed.
So my last question is going to be, because time is flying, we just have like 30 minutes and then I can't even notice our flies going. My last question is going to be, how do you think we can encourage more women to pursue leadership roles and break traditional gender norms in various industries?
I think we should, if the space is created for the woman we should make the spaces available. Okay. We shouldn't restrict women. We shouldn't restrict women and make them feel like, no, you can't do this. I found myself in a space where I don't like being told that I can't do something, you know. But it's not even to prove a point or anything, but I just like to know that I can do that thing, like I mentioned. But if the space is created for me, I'll give a random example. Let's say there's a platform opened to having more African female presidents. It's a crazy thing, but you know, having more African female presidents, we know that the space is created. Now, if the space is created, that gives women the go ahead, like, oh, okay, I can work my way to become a female president. I can work my way to become a prime minister. There's no restrictions. Whereas if you're just like, oh no, the government or parliament or politics is just for men, you're not creating that space. Not even just politics, but like anything at all. If you just restrict it to a specific group of people, which are men, there's like women now, they're like, okay, so there's no point in me doing that. There's no point in me pursuing that. There's no point in me looking deeper into that, because based on cultural norms or whatever, I know that my role is to do gentle things, to do delicate things, to not work too hard, to not do too much and stuff like that. But which is fine. It works for some women. For some women, doesn't. Some women want to go out there and like be on the battlefield and stuff like that. But the space has to be created. Make women feel like they are accepted in all, like they have the choice to choose. If I want to be a soldier, I have the opportunity. If I want to be in parliament, I have the opportunity. If I want to be in more delicate spaces, if I want to be in the medical, create the space for me to be there. You know, the spaces should be there and it shouldn't just be limited to,
and then who's going to create that space or that opportunities?
Men.
Why are you not the one creating your own opportunities?
Because, not to create the opportunities, but like to encourage the opportunities.
Because why are not women encouraging themselves?
I think they
that's
are.
Even that's even why we're talking about women empowerment.
But I think they are, but it's just the way that they are doing it. They're doing it in a way that they're trying to prove a point to men.
Okay.
Like it shouldn't be a thing of we are women, we are trying to prove a point to men that we can do this. No, like...
So it's something like a revolution now. Like.
Yes, it's like now we are fight. No, you see, that's why the toxic side of feminism really, it gets to me because it's like, just, you know, if you don't have to prove a point. Stop trying to prove a point. And I think that's like, if we look a bit deeper into feminism, it's trying to prove a point that I can do whatever a man can do. I can be equal to a man. But it shouldn't be...
Equality.
Yeah, it shouldn't be a thing of I'm trying to prove a point that I can be...
For me, I
like
think that right now, women are even achieving more than men, even in the work environment. We can see most women are doing great. Even at school, more women are really doing great stuff. Why are women fighting for equality instead of fighting from being here? Because for me, someone is fighting for equality when she feels like I'm lower than this person. Now I want to be equal to this person. It's not like I'm making you feel that you are like that, but it's because you think that you are like that and you act that you are lower than I am.
Crisis. It's an identity crisis. Women are struggling to understand who they really are.
How do you fix
it? The identity crisis.
Yes. How do you fix it?
Wow. How do you fix the identity crisis? I think that for me, first of all, we have to understand what identity is. And identity is who you are as an individual, who you are as a person, who like your morals, your beliefs, all those things. Those are the things that kind of make you. And if women kind of shift the focus from, let's try to be better than men to, no, we are women. This is what we are able to do. We know that these are our strengths. We know that we can do this. We know that we can do that. All right, cool. Let's do it. It shouldn't be about, like if the focus if it's about women, the focus should stay there. The focus shouldn't be about the other gender. No, it should be, if it's about the woman, let it be about the woman. Let us grow the woman. Let us make the woman better. Let us, and I think that's like that should be the true basis of women empowerment. We as women are we're making ourselves better. We're making each other better in order to do better things, in order to be able to go into these different spaces in society and do the things that we are fighting men for. But we have to create that space amongst ourselves first, as long as that space is not. And I think there are certain spaces that are created for women to build and to become entrepreneurs and to become big business owners and stuff like that. There are spaces, but that should be, the foundation should be solely on making women better. It shouldn't be maybe not making women better, but like, how can we evolve as women?
So thank you so much for being there. It was such a nice conversation. So I call this part 1. So you need to come back here
not a
for
problem.
part 2. Then we have time to discuss. So thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you guys. Please don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, and don't forget to share. Share with your friend, share with your family, and comment, because we need you guys to comment. We need your comment. Because when you comment, we know that you are doing great. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me.
Nice to have you.
Thank you.
Sure.
Thank you.